right, gotta do something else. What else is disastrous? All right, just tweeted out the new link. Let's see if this works. Hello, Noah Nails. Hi. So this works. Noah, how did you find the stream before I even tweeted out the link? Hello? Thanks, Noah. All right, I'm so sorry for all people who were just like, who joined and then had to leave, and then Bergen sucks. Well, this is like less active than before. I guess I will answer your questions, Noah. Can you watch any video in the theater environment? Yeah, pretty much any video that you have inside the Photos app or within, you should be able to watch it in the, well, I guess you're wondering if it's a theater environment. Not every app has a theater-like environment. The Apple TV app has a theater. Certain apps don't have that theater experience. So yeah, I guess your question is, yeah, only Apple TV. When you're watching a video from Photos app, you can just expand it really wide, and then you can activate any of the default environments that come with Vision Pro. All right, now we're cooking a little bit. God damn it. What happens when you look into a mirror? That's a good question. Why don't I get a mirror and we can find out live? 1 second. Mirror. Not a super clean mirror, but let me see. Let's put it on. Let's see what we got here. Thank you to everyone for being patient and understanding with all the kind of technical issues with using the iMac. All right, I can see you guys very clearly. I can just adjust this so that it fits better on my face. And let's see what happens when I look through a mirror. Yeah, I guess I can see myself. Let's see. can see myself. Yeah, I mean, there's not much magic here, man. But yeah, that was fun. All right. Let's see. Here's a few. How's the FOV? Verge guy said it was bad. No one else has really mentioned if it's better or worse than the Quest 3. Yeah, I've got the Quest 3. Own all of the Quest 3 headsets David Uberhaus. And I would say the field of view is definitely narrower on Vision Pro than it is for Quest 3. That one's much wider. And I think I've mentioned this in some of the videos or even some of the tweets I've been sending out. You definitely see like a vignetting. It looks like you're looking through binoculars. I'm just going to lower the brightness here. It looks like you're looking through binoculars for sure. And there might be a little bit of light leaking depending on which cushion you use and which light seal you have. But it's really not that big of an issue. I honestly don't even notice it. And I really don't fixate on the kind of, I guess if you want to call them like bezels or vignetting around the lenses. Yeah. So it is kind of narrow, but once you look, you look like, at your content, it looks really sharp. And I think you got to make sure, I think this is where you really need to make sure your setup is correct. You've calibrated correctly, and the distance between your eyes is correct. When you press the digital crown to like kind of reset it every single time. I think that's where it's going to be really important to make sure it's like personalized and custom fit to your eyes. So yeah, it's a little narrower, but it's not a problem in my opinion. Like right now I can see like black borders. If I turn my eyes left and right, I can definitely see it, but I usually look forward and turn my head to look at different apps. No one else. I heard eyesight shows up. How realistic, hello pixels, how realistic are environments? I want to actually feel like I'm on Mount Hood while watching a movie. I don't know if you necessarily feel like you're on a mountain, but it definitely feels like, expansive. And there's a little bit of depth. There's some sounds like the rainy environment or the cloud environment. Forget the exact name. Like you can hear some like raindrops there in the background. I mean, it looks good. It looks like a really like, panoramic matte painting. It's a little, you can look up a little bit as well, look down a little bit. But it's just like high res painting, to be honest. I don't know if it's like photorealistic and like there's depth and like you actually feel like you might like fall off a mountain or anything like that. So yeah, I would say it's a very good large painting, is how I liken it. Minus drop tips. I heard it's slightly worse than Quest 3. Yeah, it's like the FOV is slightly worse than Quest 3. Have you tried using it outside in daytime? I have not brought it outside. I've only had it for about 48 hours, and I do sleep. I have been sleeping for 2 days. Not like 2 full days, but like at night. So I've only been using it for less than 48 hours, and total is probably like less than like 20 hours. Yeah, maybe like 18 to 20 hours I've used it total. I went to sleep pretty late last night just because I was watching some movies. All right, Sonny, much better? All right, thank you. Using my phone. Let me see right here. Tzusk. See what it says here. Seek. Do you think we should upgrade storage? Do a lot of apps fill up space? That's a good question. I've downloaded some games, a bunch of stuff. I downloaded a whole bunch of apps. Let me look in the storage real quick. Siri, open settings. Oh, I don't know. I think there's like sometimes there's problems because like if your iPhone is open, Siri might activate there. Siri, open settings. Siri, open settings app. Yeah, I think there's like a interference. I swear, like Siri is so much better and more responsive on Apple Vision Pro that it truly shocked me how responsive it was. Like, but I think it's activating two devices at once, or it's trying to figure out whether it should be activating on the iMac, the iPhone here, or the Vision Pro. So I'm just gonna go and manually open settings here and look at my storage here. How much have I used up? Apple Vision Pro storage. So Apple sent me a 1 terabyte review unit, and I've used 124 gigs right now. To be fair, there aren't a whole lot of like big apps yet. So big apps as in like big games. I'm looking at my applications right now. I've got like about 9.38 gigs of photos. Fantasian is using up 4 gigs. Disney Dreamlight Valley is using 4 gigs. Creeks Asphalt 8 Plus is using 3 gigs. Ocean Horn 2. These are iPad apps. You're using a couple of gigs. But there aren't any like really big AAA games that are available yet. I looked for, Death Stranding that just came out, the director's cut. I looked for Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village. I didn't see any of these apps for iPhone or iPad. And so, those games are like pretty big, like 40, 50 gigs, maybe more. I think some of them are even like close to like 70 gigs. So once you download all the assets. So yeah, those, if you download games like that, you're definitely going to be like taking up storage. But right now I'm like at 124 gigs. And that probably includes the system OS. It says I have 876 gigs free. But again, I've only got like maybe like, I want to say like 25 or so apps, and most of them are iPad apps. So it's hard to say because most apps have not been like released yet. And like I literally just got access to Christian's Juno YouTube app. Let me see how big that is actually. Is there a way to see that? Show all. It says Vision OS is using 12 gigs. System data is using 45 gigs. See if there's a way to see the Juno app. DJ What the Golf is actually only 622 megabytes. Cut the Rope is 558 megabytes. Can't imagine an app like Juno would be that big, to be honest. Juno, only 34 megabytes. And that's just for watching YouTube videos. So, and that's a Vision OS app. So if they have more 3D assets and more like volumetric components and objects, so expect the storage to run up. But right now, I guess if you don't sync all of your stuff, all of your full iMessage, history, all of your photos and videos, and I haven't like ported all my like spatial videos over, but that stuff will also take up a good amount of storage. So yeah, I'm trying to calculate right now whether I think 256 is enough. I feel like that's just barely enough once you start really putting your own personal content on there. 1 terabyte might be overkill unless you're really handling big files, but I think like 512 is probably the sweet spot. But I think it will take a few more weeks for more apps to come out, more detailed apps to come out before we can really decide that. I think I'm losing some people here, but it's okay. You guys are the real ones. And it's also kind of late. How realistic? Let me see. Sunny's over here just telling me right now, you don't need 1 terabyte. Sunny, but I do need 1 terabyte on my iPhone. I use it almost, I fill it almost like a couple of times a year. Mateo, I just answered I think I just answered your question. Kay, would you personally buy one? Yeah, I am personally buying one. Is it comfortable, CMYK? Is it comfortable to wear for more than 30 minutes? I just put out a video earlier about the first time I felt discomfort wearing Vision Pro, and I'll explain why. So I was on a 1-hour FaceTime call with 2 of my friends, and I was just looking in one direction. So I was just like looking directly at their faces in their little square windows. And I think just like not moving my head and not like getting some kind of like motion is when the fatigue really set on me, and I really felt the weight of the headset like just like crushing me, and I just felt it like it just became so heavy. But once I started like looking around, moving my head a little bit more, I think that's when I felt more like comfortable and the weight felt more distributed, or I just didn't notice it as much. And look, I've tried Vision Pro several times in 30-minute sessions, and I've also tried it, in the last 2 days for longer sessions. And when I'm moving my head and looking around apps, it definitely doesn't feel as heavy as it appears, or maybe as other people have said it is. But when you're sitting there just like kind of like stationary and just like staring straight ahead at you, yeah, it can get heavy. And I honestly had to tell my friends I need to get off this call and take off this headset because it was starting to feel fatigued. Cedric, Guy, do you have anything in mind where Apple can do better? Yeah, absolutely. It's not the greatest in low light performance. I've noticed that sometimes my fingers and hands are just not as responsive. So I might have to like double tap or like tap a few times, or even like reach out and like, hey, did the camera see my hand? I'm told it should still be able to see it, but I've noticed that it gets kind of like finicky sometimes, yeah, when the light dims. And also the image quality gets grainy. That's just, a quality of a camera. When you're in a dark environment, sensors struggle to see through the dark. And so they really have to like crank up the ISO. And then of course you get grain, right? Higher ISO means higher grain. So yeah, I think there are some improvements. Yeah, this headset could absolutely get lighter. The screen is like super fragile. The front glass is super fragile. I'm like babying it right now just because I don't want to accidentally break it. And so every single time I take it off for like a longer than like, a minute or two, I put this cover back on just to make sure that it's protected. Inat Ramjiani. How good is the hand occlusion? Some of the reviews look like the borders around the hands were lagging behind. Is it noticeable in the headset? Let's see. Yeah, it's better. I mean, I don't see any occlusion like right now, obviously. Let me turn up the environment and see if that. Yeah, in when you dial up the environment, you definitely see some like jagginess and borders around the occlusion. And like my hand is actually glitching out right now. I'm on the moon. The environment is set to the moon, but my hand is kind of like, you can see that there's like a cutout right here. I hope this gets better in future versions. But yeah, you definitely notice it when you turn up the environment to like kind of more than, let's see, like I'm at 75% right now. So 100%, definitely see some shimmering around the outlines of your fingers. But if you turn down the environment and you're kind of like mixed reality, yeah, no shimmering. It looks great when you don't have the environment turned on. And I actually don't have the environment turned up most of the day. At least I haven't for the last 2 days. Cedric, Guy, except for obvious miniaturization. Yeah, hopefully it'll get smaller over time. I don't think it will ever get to the point of smart glasses. I've owned several pairs of smart glasses, and you need space. You need space for all these cameras, like top ones, front ones, side ones, bottom ones. And unless they can like use maybe like machine learning or AI to kind of like predict where your hands will go, it's gonna be tough to sacrifice all these cameras. It's also possible that you might be able to do more with less in the future, and you just need fewer cameras. No one knows. How's the OS overall? Any bugs, glitches? Yeah, there were a few glitches in the first version that was installed on the Vision OS. There have been 2 updates before launch, and was it version 1.0.1 or something like that? 1.0, and now we're on 1.0.2. And yeah, I feel like it's just smoothed out some of the like low light glitches, and the hand tracking is just a little bit more responsive, but yeah, no real overall glitches. No like app breaking glitches. I haven't had any app crash at all, which is rare for a new platform. Sunny, do you think it feels like a prototype device? When I think of a prototype device, I think of something that's like not even halfway polished, or only like, you know, a third polished, or 2/3 polished, I should say. This feels pretty polished in terms of like the UI, the input, the interaction. It feels like it's already there. I think the only kind of like prototypey thing is like, okay, it's missing certain features, and you can't really like, I don't know, you can't really do as much as you can with the Mac. There aren't as many apps available yet, and obviously this is pre-launch. More apps will be on their way. So does it feel like a prototype? No, I don't think it's a prototype. I think it's actually pretty complete in terms of like the core functionality, which is having the windows stay pinned where you pin them in 3D space, and being able to move it. Like, I'm grabbing a window right now, and I'm just like wiggling it around. I'm literally dragging it like this, and it is so responsive. It is so smooth. There is no jankiness to it. And you compare that to something like, you know, window operation on Quest 2, Quest 3, and you definitely see like, you know, A, the resolution is not as good, and B, just like moving things around is not as smooth as it is on Vision Pro. Like, this is just buttery smooth. And you just like, I don't know, it's like it's like an Air version of a touchscreen, you know, an Apple touchscreen. Austin Heiss, did Apple tell you to keep it inside? No, they didn't. But also, I don't want to be that guy who's using Vision Pro just outside. I don't think even when I get my own unit, I will be walking down the street with it. No, absolutely not. I won't be using it at a bar. I won't be using it at a coffee shop. This is not something I plan to bring out. This is, I think, a device that's designed for use in an office, in your home, in a private space. I don't think it's something that you should be wearing outside. Google Glass, now that was something that was designed outside, but society rejected it, and cultural norms were just like, you know, nope, we don't want this. We don't want a camera recording everything that is in front of it. And yeah, will there be people who take this out? Absolutely, but I think they will be the minority. And also, it's kind of silly, you know, you're taking it's like walking down the street using a MacBook Pro, you know, a $3,000, $3,500 MacBook Pro. Would you do it? No. Will there be times where you might do it? Yeah, maybe once. Never. Delt 35, field of view, do you really see a lot of black border? I answered this one before, I don't know if you were on, but yeah, there is some vignetting. It looks like you're looking through binoculars, but after a little while, you kind of just don't notice it. You don't pay attention to it because you're paying attention to the content, which is super sharp. Let me scroll down here because it's, I live in Tokyo and people walk around with MacBooks all the time. Okay, Astro. I guess that's a thing in Tokyo. I've never seen that many people walk around with their laptops outside, like holding it up and using it, but all right, learn something new. Lo-Fi Life. What does the File Explorer look like? There's no File Explorer. There's a Files app. It looks just like, you know, I'm holding it up because it's annoying just like taking it on and off. And I could see through the pass-through, which is pretty clear, but it's just, I've been wearing, apologize, I've been wearing like Vision Pro like almost all day. So I am like, just like a little bit tired. Also just like posting content on social media for you guys. It's been kind of like a little exhausting. So let me open the Files app. There we go. Yeah, it looks just like what you get on iPad. You get a 2-column view, you get a side column, you get your content, and then you can see all your files here, your recent, your shared downloads. It's literally an iPad version. If you've seen it on iPad, that's what the Files app looks like. There's no like Finder. There's no, you know, Windows Explorer, File Explorer. I want to say, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't understand where this kind of sits or what Vision OS is kind of like. It is primarily sitting in between iPad OS and Mac OS. You don't get the granularity and like nuance of Mac OS. So, but you do get something more than Mac OS, which is the spatial component, the presence, the volumetric objects, the 3D objects. You get the pass-through. Those are things you just can't get on Mac OS. So yeah, a lot of people have asked me whether you can like, this thing can replace Mac. I don't think you can replace a Mac unless like your workflow is primarily like iMac. And even if you use the virtual display, you still need a Mac, right? You still need to be pretty close to a Mac in the same room. You walk too far from it, it just won't work. It'll show a little pop-up telling you that, hey, look, you know, it's disconnected. Nick Walzek, so SharePlay isn't in V1. I didn't see it, you know. I tried to SharePlay from my Mac to Vision Pro. It didn't work. Let me click on a thing into Apple TV. Let me just click on show and yeah, a lot of people have commented like, you don't have to like hold your hand up, but you know, I'm sitting at a table, and so if I keep my hands down here, you guys can't see what I'm doing. So this table is kind of like up here. So also it doesn't really matter. Like just do whatever feels comfortable, you know? Sometimes you just might want to like do that and just be a little more dramatic. Yeah, I don't see any kind of sharing option in the Apple TV. I don't think it's here. All right, let's continue. Scavalomax. Pretty sure there will be apps for screen sharing Windows PCs. That would be cool. Cedric Guy, have you tried the Freeform app on there? I have not. I don't use Freeform even on iOS and iPad, so that was something that I just didn't really think about checking out, but I should. Steve Trowan Smith, I hope I'm saying that right. Hello, how does the Mac remote display stuff work with example Mac Mini or Studio behind a monitor? All demos have been laptops. I haven't tried it with a Mac Mini. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I have my MacBook Pro docked into a Studio display. But I would imagine it should just like pop up. You should just go to the Mac virtual display in the control center, and it should just show up as like a virtual display, because you're basically just mirroring any compatible Mac to a virtual display. Rave TZ, do you have access to a recent Intel MacBook Pro? I have reason to believe that screen share only works due to the T2 chip. Unfortunately, I don't have an Intel MacBook. But somebody will definitely do this test probably tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me. People who do have it. Let me just scroll up here. I missed some comments here. Vaughn Smith, what does the EyeSight display glass feel like? Feels like glass, curved glass. Definitely, I don't like tapping at it because that would be one expensive replacement. Can you walk around in the environment? The environment is kind of like just wrapped around you. It's not really like, it doesn't have any real depth, so you can walk through it, but it's not like around you. Like you can't actually like walk. There's no Z depth. I answered this one, how's FOV? It's narrower than Quest 3, but it's, you still see that kind of vignetting, like you're looking through binoculars. I don't notice it. I'm gonna stop answering the FOV question just because I feel like I've answered this like at least a couple of times. Lo-Fi Life, can you walk around and use it? Yeah, you can walk around and use it. Do you want to? Will you want to? I don't think so. I've mostly been stationary for the last like, 48 hours. I genuinely believe this is primarily a device where you sit down on a couch, you sit down, or you stand up. It's not, at least right now, it's not a device that's like the Quest where you're like, playing Beat Saber, you're moving your whole body and swinging your arms around. And I'm sure there will be some fitness apps, but I don't think that the initial use case will be like, to be very active with it, mainly because it's very heavy. I mean, you break it, you're going to be crying. And yeah, there isn't like kind of the same, I guess like precision to the controls because your fingers can only do so much. I was like playing the golf, and it's kind of like a tabletop game. You see the game and you can place it on a surface. I thought it would be more immersive, like more like a Wii Golf or something where you're kind of like just like you might like that and like swing a golf club, but no, you just kind of take your fingers, pull back on a meter and just let it go like a slingshot to fire off the ball. I don't know how that's gonna shake out when there are more immersive games. Maybe you just like use a controller. Maybe there will be third-party controllers, but I'm seeing some differences between Vision Pro and Quest. Cedric Guy, I remember you tried a live stream with your persona on Twitter. Did it work? It did not work. I tried it this morning. It was a complete fail. It just was a black screen. Just wouldn't work. It worked. The iPad app let me, the iPad X app let me take a selfie with my persona, but it didn't let me live stream with my persona. Can travel mode be activated quickly? Travel mode is activated in the control center. So to activate control center, you just look up. There's like a little caret here, a little arrow that you click, and then you go to the command center or control center, I should say, and then there's a travel mode here. Right here. And it says travel mode. If you're on an airplane, turn on travel mode to stabilize visuals. It should not be used while operating a moving vehicle. And yeah, if you're on a plane, you can turn that on. What is that in your head? I don't know. I really don't know what that is, Deborah. Could you live stream screen capture what you're seeing easily? Somebody asked this. I haven't figured out a way to do it yet. I'm sure there has to be a way. Like you can share AirPlay out to another device, then screen capture that device, like say an iPad or a MacBook or whatever screen. I don't have the setup right now to do that, but I will try to figure it out. And I'm sure some other people, once they get their devices, will also figure it out as well. All right, Cedric Guy, I know you got to go. Good night. Timrod94. Is this device really stimulating, and also have you gotten more tired easily? Is it really stimulating? It's, I guess, stimulating as in like how? Stimulating as in like, whoa, you get to use all these apps in any orientation, any space, and place them wherever you want. Yeah, I think that's really stimulating. Might even be a little distracting if you need to really focus and you're like, I've got like so many windows here, you know? When I had like 6 windows open, 6 Safari windows open, it was pretty hard to concentrate and do work. But that might have also been the fact that I just gotten started. You know, it was my first day using it really at home, and first time using it for work. So the fact that it was just so new might have just been like overstimulating. But I think you get used to it pretty quickly. Kind of like how you get used to, like, you know, the first time I used an iPhone or iPad, I got used to it really, really fast. And then it just didn't feel as special. But it's very easy to take new technologies for granted. Nick Walzak, Persona works as a device's selfie webcam. For some apps, yeah. Goob, so Persona doesn't work for live streams. It didn't work for when I tried it this morning. Ankit Shankar, how does text selection work? You know, I have been trying to figure that out myself too, because I've been like, whenever I use the dictation, and it's usually pretty spot on, and I make a mistake, I'm like, how do I move the cursor to where I want it? And I haven't figured that out. I'm like wiggling it. I just can't figure it out. And my kind of stopgap fix is just using the Magic Trackpad, which is the only way. Using a wireless keyboard and a Magic Trackpad is really the only way to get any work done. Like if I'm typing an article, which I did yesterday and a little bit of today, there's no way that I can like dictate my article unless you're very good at, dictation. And yeah, just like typing on the virtual keyboard, not as easy as it seems at first, but you do get used to it. Like I guess you can like, there's a learning curve. So I did get a little more accurate. I feel like I've gotten better at like pecking and just like boop, 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 but you're still like going like that. And like a few times I was like, ooh, I was getting the flow and I was like starting to like touch type a little bit, but then I'd look up and I'd see a mistake and I'd just be like, oh crap, and just go back to like punch. But yeah, I did try a different keyboard today. So originally, you try to use it with a Magic keyboard. I used it with this Keychron Q1 Max mechanical keyboard, and I just put it on Bluetooth mode. Showed up inside the Bluetooth settings perfectly, and yes, got my banana switches. That sounds great, and I was able to type at my top speed in no time. How is HDR movies? Bright enough? Ian? Yes, they are pretty good. They look very, very good. I would say it's extremely bright, and you definitely see all of your highlights. Darks are dark, really black, and whites are pretty white. How's the latency for Mac screen share? Good enough for gaming like Apple claimed? I don't know if it's good enough for gaming. I haven't tried it in games, but I didn't feel like there was any real lag when I looked at it. It seemed like it was pretty instant, but I was only like using Lightroom. What else did I use? I use Arc a lot. That's my favorite browser now. Yeah, pretty basic apps. Spotify, VLC player. I use Handbrake today. Discord. I use Signal. Yeah, those are not like super like graphically intensive apps. So I wouldn't, other than like Lightroom and maybe Photoshop. So I wouldn't say like I noticed any like real lag, or any lag at all. But I'll try some games, and I've got Lies of P, Death Stranding, Resident Evil installed, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll let you guys know another time. Damn, we've been doing this live stream for 40 minutes. It's already 11:30. I'll answer a few more questions just because I am kind of getting tired from making content all day. I'm going to just put this headset down here. And let me get some other questions. Does the USB-C port on the battery connect to peripherals? There were a lot of pins on that cable. Yeah, I don't think so. I believe this port is just for charging. But yeah, I don't have I would love to try a like some kind of dongle for like an SD card reader, because yesterday I was like working on my article trying to figure out how I could like would it even be possible for me to like get my photos off my camera and into Vision Pro really easily. But I ran out of time and I was like, I got to get this article out, so I just end up using my Mac. But yeah, I believe this is primarily for charging. As for this guy, the little wide lightning connector, anything goes. I don't know too much about it. I'm pretty sure it's just for diagnostics, and Apple is only allowed to have access to it. But you never know with intrepid and curious users. Ben Hadfield, what games are there you would recommend? What kind of games? There aren't too many spatial games. I think Apple only announced like 4 or 5. Probably more coming very soon. Most games are like, I'd say most of the games I've been playing are honestly in Apple Arcade. So there are iPad apps that are in 2D, and you just play them with an Xbox controller. Sonic, I think it was called Dream Fever. I played more of that today. I was messing around with Oceanhorn. Apple sent a loaner Xbox controller for me to use. And yeah, it just works basically like you're looking at an iPad app, except the only difference is, and this I think is kind of like really important, the part that kind of still blows my mind is like you can make the screen so big that it like spans like your entire like floor to ceiling, and then like literally stand up right in front of it. Like, yeah, you will see like the pixelations because the resolution is not super high for iPad apps, but it was pretty cool to stand in front of a massive screen to play an iPad game. What apps are not coming to Vision Pro? Yeah, I don't know, man. There are a bunch of apps that are not available at launch: Netflix, Spotify, etc. And I think it's just like a waiting game. You know, they don't want to build apps for this platform until there are enough users. It's kind of like a chicken egg situation. And also, you know, there are all sorts of other reasons, like, you know, just they don't love Apple, and you know, they don't want to give Apple all this power again, and maybe they're trying to rebel a little bit and resist. So yeah, there are all sorts of like forces at play right now. It's not as simple as like, you know, just taking off a checkbox and putting your app on Vision Pro's app store. You know, there's maintenance, especially if you have tens of millions of users, hundreds of millions of users. It's like there's a lot. Tyler Hansen, can we play our own content over the lake like the promo? I'm assuming like your own content is like your own photos and videos. Yeah, you can play your own photos and videos in Apple Vision Pro, and then turn on an environment to make it look like it's somewhere else. This is a good question. Nick Walza, can you play 2 videos in 2 apps at the same time? iPad will pause one app if another plays. Let's give it a go. I'm gonna open Juno, and then I'm gonna open TV app and see if I can play both. I wish I could show you guys right now, but I don't have any way to like screen share and record this. So all right, I'm gonna click on the digital crown here to get to the home view, then slide over to open the Juno app. Here's where to go. This is the TV app over here. Oh, Juno's over here. All right, I've got my video from YouTube from back in the input days. Shout out to our input if you know what input is. All right, I'm gonna hit play here. Got playing, and then I'm gonna turn on Masters of Air on TV app. Yeah, it pauses. Yeah, so I've got two Vision OS apps and they're pausing. Let me try. Yeah. Okay. You cannot play two apps at the same time. Two video apps. James Dombro, how dirty does the facial interface get? I'm guessing you're talking about the cushion here and the light seal. Hard to say. Hard to say because I've only had it for 48 hours, but I'm told by Apple that they are washable. This one might be a little tougher to wash. You might just have to use like some kind of wet towel, wet cloth, damp towel. This one is probably something that you could easily rinse underwater. And you definitely probably want to just air dry this. Mine is a 33W for what it's worth. And some of my friends have told me like, oh, the light seals you get different sizes depending on what device you use to do your face head scan. iPad is like maybe showing different sizes compared to iPhone. Yeah, that's tricky. I did get a few different scans when I tried to pre-order, and I just wanted to see like what that experience would be like. And I think I got a 28W one time, but mostly I've been 33W. So I just took the average. I took whichever one gave me the most results and then chose that one. So yeah. Also, guys, did you guys see that giant Vision Pro that they built for the Fifth Avenue Apple Store Cube for tomorrow's official launch? Massive like Vision Pro outline frame. That looks kind of cool. Yeah, the scan uses your Face ID, so you have to take your phone out and look up, look left, look right, and look down. Scott Morabito, do the inside lenses get dirty? I mean, I'm sure they do. Yeah, I see some like dirt and oils on there. Should probably wipe that off. Good thing every Vision Pro comes with a polishing cloth that says Vision Pro, just so you know it is the Vision Pro one. And this one is apparently like softer than the $20 polishing cloth that they sell separately. All right, let's wipe this off. It's kind of like glasses. You have to like kind of like clean it up a little bit every once in a while. There you go, nice and shiny. Probably wouldn't be too bad to like get some compressed air, a can of compressed air to blow off the dust around the lenses too, if you can. Jonathan Greenstein, yeah. Oh my God, you got the Vision. Yes, I do have it. Just smudges on the outside affect the cameras faster. I have not smudged the outside, but I can try right now. Let's put some smudges on this bad boy. Let's put some smudges. All right, let's do this. Let's just put my finger. I can't believe I'm doing this for you. Put my fingers all over the front. It does look like there's like some smudges through the lens, like it's not super clear anymore. And let's open something up. Let's open, I don't know, jig space. Still looks pretty good. It's a little cloudy, obviously. You need to wipe it down for clarity, but there you go. Much clearer. Much better. It's like glasses, you know? Yeah. Try to wipe your Vision Pro headset down. You can. Let me scroll up and see some more comments. Please, I remember trying to. Yeah. What is it? Is Moonlight in the compatible apps store? I don't know what that app is, but I can check. Let's see. Just for you, Brandon. Where's the app store? Moonlight? Let's use dictation here. Moonlight. There are so many Moonlights here. Moonlight game streaming, designed for iPad? Yeah, that's here. I think that's the one you're talking about. Although all these other Moonlights are like some kind of timer app, some kind of story time projector, Moonlight Mahjong Lite. Steam Mobile's in here. Moonlight Nonogram. All right. If it's the Moonlight game streaming app for iPad, it's in here. Yeah. Rottweiler VR High. Yes, hello. Scavolomax. I think Quest 3 will be like consoles and Vision Pro will be like PC workstations. I think this analogy makes sense. Yeah, I think so. That actually is a good one. I've been saying for a long time that I truly believe that Quest 3 should not, like Meta and Quest 3 should not be like chasing after the same thing. They're going to lose because they don't have the chipset and the performance and the power. What they should focus on is just being the best immersive games platform. VR games, there's nothing wrong with it, and it's affordable, you know? Affordable compared to like Vision Pro, let's say. So yeah, I think they should just lean into gaming. They can win by selling their devices for like low cost, $300, $400, $500 even. Don't try to like compete head on with Apple for Vision Pro. They're gonna lose if they do that. And I know Mark Zuckerberg is just like, you know, he wants it all. He wants it all. There you go, Scavolomax. Moonlight for game streaming. Yeah, Scavolomax, I checked or mentioned this earlier. Death Stranding and Resident Evil are not in there. Nick Walzak, are your pass-through cameras currently in low light mode, or is it that enough light that they're not using a high ISO? I see some grain, but it does seem like a lot better, and I did notice this yesterday too. It does seem like a lot better than it was on day one. On day one, with the software update that shipped with the device, it was like so much grainier. I remember sitting here with the same amount of lights on, the two lights from light bulbs from this lamp, and just like it was so grainy over here. But it seems clear this time. So, yeah, I've got like three lamps in my living room. One up all the way over there, and then one just next to me right here. John, how's the clarity when looking at your phone? I mentioned this yesterday on the Twitter live stream. It's pretty good. You need the right fit, so you kind of need it like kind of tight, and you can definitely see all the text very clearly, very crisply. You will need to like lower the brightness on your device, like an iPhone or iPad or even a Mac screen or another monitor or TV, whatever, because the screen is just so bright that it overexposes. So like I've got my brightness set to like, I want to say like 30 or 40%. And if I set it to like 100% or even 75% or higher, everything looks washed out and white. So like it's impossible for me to see. But if I lower the brightness, then everything looks pretty good. Like it's clear enough for me to read your text right now. How does Mac work with the Vision Pro, and are there multiple, I guess you mean multiple screens for dual monitor setup? Unfortunately, the virtual Mac display only supports one screen. It mirrors one display. So yeah, it only works with one screen. You can't get two virtual displays. How does it work? You just go up to Control Center, and then there's a little icon there. The third icon, there's I think that's a Do Not Disturb, a focus icon, a guest user icon, and then there's a Mac virtual display icon. Mirror my view. Ooh, what's this? Oh, this is like select device to mirror content to your Vision Pro. Oh, this could be cool. Hold on, let's try this. Let's see if I can mirror it to my Mac. Ooh, okay. Maybe this is not the best like solution. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can. Is there a way for me to flip this camera? Wait, can you guys see this? I'm gonna just like kind of like live stream quickly through my iPhone. Sorry, I turn on the environment because my room's kind of messy. But this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. You know what? I definitely have to do another live stream tomorrow just to like get this set up properly. Figure a way to like capture the screen, or like at least have another camera like aimed at this screen. Because right now I have the Vision Pro like raised above my eyes, so it looks blurred out because I'm not looking through it, and the foveated view rendering is kicking in. But okay, yes, let's go. Okay, damn. All right, that's pretty cool. And you know what? I'll clean my living room tomorrow so you guys can actually see what the pass-through looks like. All right, yeah, I'll clean my living room. Sorry. All right, it's like 11:46. It's almost midnight here. Nick Walzak, he's unprepared. That's why it's messy. Well, you know, I'm a human being, you know, and as a tech reviewer, I have a lot of boxes that I get delivered, and I have to keep the boxes to return product. I don't have a huge home or apartment or house or anything like that. So, yeah. Gerardo Hera, how's watching movies on it? Do you get fatigued? I don't have a couch. I don't have a couch. So I watched movies yesterday in bed before I went to sleep and laid down on my pillow. So it's kind of like at maybe like a 45-degree angle. And that was pretty comfy. I didn't feel any like fatigue or any kind of weight on my face. But I mentioned earlier in the stream that sitting up and looking at a FaceTime for 1 hour did kind of make me notice and feel the weight of Vision Pro. Well, I'm looking at the iMac screen that's like doing the share screen, and it's just like Inception because it's like one after another. Thank you, Nick. I thought you were clowning on me. Listen, I'm just trying my best here, and I want to share as much information as I can, and also I also need time to like actually use it and, you know, work as well. Ben, have you made a persona? Yeah, I have. You can find it on Twitter or X. You can see my persona, and you can see the one that I use or the one that showed up during FaceTime. My friend said it looks like a ghost. You couldn't see the back of my head. I looked like a PS3 character. But they were like creeped out by it at first, and then they kind of just like stopped noticing it. They didn't really comment about it until I asked them about it. Austin Hiss, how would you rate it as a product on a scale of 1 to 10? I've only had it for 2 days. I really don't want to say a rating. I never use, well, I don't want to say never. In the beginning of my career, I did write for some places that did have a scoring system. I don't think a scoring system is nuanced enough for a lot of products now, especially like computers that do so many different things, have so many different functions. It's like games too. Games are really hard to give a score, in my opinion. Like people give a score of like 8 and like, oh yeah, it's like they're like turned off, or like 7.5 and suddenly not a good game. I think a 7.5 and an 8, like there's so little difference there. It's hard to say, give a product a number score. So I'm gonna refrain from scoring it until I've actually had at least a week to review this thing. I just can't. You can't review something like this in 48 hours, and you only spend like 20 to 24 hours of that time actually using the product to work and play and watch and entertain and try to create stuff. All right, thanks, Nick. Is your Twitter handle the same as your YouTube username? No, it's not. My Twitter handle is Ray Wongy, RAYWONGY. I'm only using this YouTube handle because this is a YouTube channel I made like some very long time ago, like I don't know, over 10 years ago, and I didn't have another account. So, I mean, you can see the last video was like a while ago, and then the video before that was like, it was just from a different era. That was like 10 years ago. Tech YouTube was still very much not a thing, and you could basically try whatever you wanted. So I do feel like I should have a proper like Ray Wong channel. I don't know if I want to like reboot this one and you reuse this one, or just make a new one. I feel like I might make a new one. But it's almost like in 2024, if you don't have a YouTube channel, it's like not having a Twitter or Instagram, or your own website. So yeah, just like setting this up and realizing that I didn't have a proper channel, I was like, okay, what am I going to use? I could use my work Google account and live stream from there, but then it'd be like tethered to work, and I didn't want it to be like connected to a work account. Yeah, that would just be weird if you had a bunch of subscribers subscribe to a work account. Lo-fi life, good question. Belkin battery clip. I think it's worth it. I forget how much it is, like $50. Especially if you like don't have pockets, or you just want to like sling it. At first I thought it would be super nerdy and dorky, and maybe it is, but I don't care. I think if you want to like be as comfortable using this thing, looks is not super important. And honestly, who cares? Who cares if you look like a dork and it's clipped to your belt and on your waist, or like whatever, like use glasses lanyard. Use a lanyard for your glasses if that's useful for you. Fuck the haters, man. Use what works for you. John Teleria, do you think we'll see fitness apps for Vision Pro? I mentioned this earlier. I'm sure there will be fitness apps, but whether they will be successful or not is TBD, just because the headset is not the lightest headset, right? Vision Pro is not super light. And I don't think, at least for this version, you really want to be like moving your body around a lot, waving your head around. Like I've seen like people like literally almost like bang their Quest 3s into furniture and the wall, into TVs. Like there are tons of videos online, and last thing you want to do is like potentially smash into a wall with this thing. You will damage the glass, and you will be paying the price for a repair, a costly price. So yeah, I think there will be apps. Whether you actually want to use them, that's TBD. And yeah, I think there will be probably more meditative apps. The meditation app is actually pretty cool. The one that comes from Apple and is pre-installed. That one's pretty neat as well, to be honest. All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions. I'm going to wrap it exactly midnight, just because I'm tired. I just want to like lay down in bed and maybe eat something. I should probably drink some water. A bottle of water. Don't you guys worry, this is an old bottle. I just refilled it with water I boiled myself. I should use my Nalgene or something, but I'm just lazy. I'm going to answer a few more questions. Timrod94, I hope you're still here. Do you see yourself using this headset every day for practical use? Fantastic question. I could see myself using it for a few hours every day, not all day long. I think you have to be very intentional and deliberate with how you use this device. Like, okay, I'm planning to watch a movie maybe, and I want the biggest screen possible. I want the most immersive sound possible, like spatial sound. Then I could see myself switching to Vision Pro from my MacBook, from my iPhone, from my iPad, or another device. Even yesterday when I just got my first taste of working with Vision Pro, I immediately knew that it was going to be a hassle to try to figure out a workflow for getting my photos from my camera's SD card into the Vision Pro. Could have done it maybe if I had the wireless or had the Sony app, and I could just wirelessly transfer the photos from the camera to the app. Then it'll save directly into the Photos app, then import those into the Lightroom app, and then drag those over or click on them, import them into our CMS using that workflow. Could I do it? Yeah, I'd only take 5 or 6 steps more. I'd be slow as hell, and I probably wouldn't have published the article yesterday. But I have a fast and efficient workflow that I'm used to on Mac, and I can do things very quickly with my mechanical keyboard with macros and all that stuff. And I would just go to my Mac to do those things. So just being very deliberate and intentional about what you use each device for, I think is going to be key. Like, I know lots of people who use iPads for just watching movies because they like that there's no keyboard attached to it. And they use a MacBook just for work. I'm sure Apple is happy to sell everybody multiple different devices of different form factors and shapes and sizes, because they know there's no one size fits all. Whereas another company like Microsoft might feel like the Surface Pro is perfect device that is shape-shiftable, it's modular, you can detach keyboard, it can turn to tablet, it can turn to drawing device, it can be used for presentations, it can be in landscape, it can be in portrait mode. Yeah, I think there are different philosophies, and this is just one device. It's not meant to kill anything, it's not meant to replace anything. And I don't like that narrative of every new product that Apple puts or big tech puts out needs to kill another existing product. Everyone said so much about phones killing laptops and desktops, and turns out just can't do a lot of things that you can do on a laptop on a phone, and vice versa. Or it might be better in one form factor. So they still exist. They coexist. And you see that with Apple. They just, all their products kind of like coexist with each other. Ryan, I'm assuming intensive games on iPad that use 2 virtual joysticks aren't compatible on Vision Pro. iPad apps can be played with, assuming they have support, they can be played with a wireless gamepad controller. So if you need the joysticks, you can use a controller. In terms of like using hand gestures and finger taps, they'd have to be optimized, and I don't know, honestly, don't even know how that would work. Maybe your head would like turn the camera and like your fingers would be like clicking for AB. Yeah, that'd be tough. I think that it's gonna, not having physical controllers like the touch controllers on the Quest is gonna be tough for some of the bigger gaming, more advanced gaming capabilities. Scott, multiple monitors, 1 Mac. Does it pick one? Yeah, it should just pick one. It'll just give you one. Can you drink water with the AVP on? Yeah. I got a video of me eating lunch with it. Eating some kanji. Yeah, here you go. Just for you, T. Drinking water with the Vision Pro. All right, it's midnight. I think that's it. I'm calling it. Timrod, you're welcome. Is it too bad for every time you need to charge? I don't know what that means. Can you use a portable power bank for more battery life? Yeah, you can. I've got one right here. This is a 20,000 milliamp hour battery. Just plug it in through USB-C and it connects right here to here, and you'll just get the power from this guy. So it's like you're doubling the weight and everything, but you can use a portable power bank. All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, and I'm sorry that I was not able to show you the screen. Now that what I need to do is just be a little more prepared, I kind of threw this together very last minute. I was like, I just want to hang out with a whole bunch of curious people, and yeah, I will make sure I have more of a setup, so you guys can clear out my apartment, so you guys can see what I'm seeing, and I definitely will be doing it again. This was a lot of fun, and I just enjoy talking to you guys. So if any of you guys are pre-ordered and you're getting a Vision Pro, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know how to find me on Twitter, on Threads, Instagram. If you don't, I'll shout them out right now. I'm at Twitter/X at Ray Wongy, RAYWONGY, and I'm on Threads and Instagram at Sour Lemons. That's Sour Lemons, plural. I haven't posted to Instagram in a while, but I'd like to start posting there again because I know a lot of people are there, but I've also been posting more to Threads. And also, one last thing, if anybody knows a way to like easily cross post, let me know, because I am like manually posting and scheduling stuff to Twitter, but Threads doesn't let you do that. So you're not getting all the stuff that you're getting on Twitter. And I know a lot of people are not into Twitter anymore, but still get a lot of engagement there. So that's my social platform of choice. All right, guys, thank you. Good night. Find my work on inverse.com as well. I'll have a review probably next week. I'm not going to rush it out today. Well, technically, I guess it's today. I'm not going to rush it out after only like 48 hours. I think that would be a disservice. Yeah, I'll have some 48-hour impressions though, without Apple supervision. All right, peace, guys.